Good morning, guys, gals, MBs, and YouTube catters. Welcome to my next video on my White Forest Azamina list. This is a follow-up video to the deck guide that we came out with a few days ago. So if you haven't seen that video, you can find it in the top right corner over here. Click this little eye to get a link to that video. Definitely recommend going and watching that. And then coming back and watching this video as we are just going through the test hands, the lines of the deck that I previously posted. I haven't made any changes yet, but I will say after doing a few test hands off stream, a little bit of play testing off stream, I have noticed a couple of things that I might want to change that I'm probably going to try and change for this week at locals to get better prepared and get ready for YCS coming up in my area in the next coming months. But for right now, this is the exact list that I posted in the previous video. If you want to go check that out again, while you're there, leave a like, share, comment, all that good stuff. Thank you, of course, for your support and comments and suggestions on that previous video. Y'all came up with a lot of good ideas and a lot of different things that I have completely forgot about in previous sets that I want to try and test out now, especially with the fusion lineup when I get my hands on Saint Azamina and stuff like that. But for now, like I said, no major changes to this deck. We're going to change up the ratios a little bit this week. If you would like to keep updated with how I do at locals this week, I'll be posting in the YouTube. And if we do well enough, like if we go undefeated again, we'll do another follow-up video on my updated list changes on this channel as well. But other than that, we're going to do a quick couple of hand tests. We'll show off some combo lines with this deck. So let me get a quick shuffle up here. We'll cut. And 5 cards. One. Ooh, why is my deck upside down? 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. So not a bad hand, but not a great hand. For the sake of the video, I'm going to go through the lines as if my opponent had nothing. With no hand traps or no interaction, but I will try my best to explain at each given point where your opponent can interact and how you can pivot from that interaction. But starting off, we're actually going to save our Seeker of the Sinful Spoils since we already have our Diabell Star in hand. We're not going to do our draw phase wanted, but if you don't have Diabell Star in your opener, and you're afraid of draw, you can always do a draw phase wanted. We're going to start off. We're actually going to, with this hand, you have 2 options. We can either, it depends on what we want to get impermed the least, or get effect failure the least, or Ash Blossom the least. With this hand specifically, normal summoning the Stellar most likely will get impermed or get Ash Blossomed. But we can actually pivot off of that. We can go with our special summon, our Diabell Star. We're actually going to, we have 2 options here. We can either pitch the Stellar for it and then just get it back at a different time. Or we can pitch this wanted. And we're actually going to pitch this wanted here. And we're going to go and get we're going to set our Deception of the Sinful Spoils here. So Deception is going to be set. Try and position this where I can show the hand. I'm just going to put the hand right here. Sorry about the glare. We're going to activate our Deception, pitch our Diabell Star, grab our Hollowed Azamina here. Good thing to note as well, you can actually, if you didn't want your Hollowed, you can actually grab your LZ Azamina of the White Forest just to get another name. Ooh, there we go. All right, we'll grab our Hollowed. So we'll use the Hallowed, we'll pitch the Deception, or you can also pitch the Sinful Spoils for it. And we are going to grab our Yugioh. Normally, if you are afraid of Nibiru, you would just do Ilia Sevilla, but again, we're just going to pretend for the sake of the video, opponent doesn't have Nibiru. Azamina Yugioh is going to grab us You can either grab your LZ if you would like for extra extension, or we can also just grab our Azamina Aphis as another card to pitch. Since we're having to use our normal summon here for a Stellar, let's just go Azamina Aphis here. Since we're, again, pretending opponent has no interaction here. We will normal summon our Stellar. We're going to pitch our Sinful Spoils of the White Forest here. A Stellar is going to summon out your Sylvie. And then from here, it's normal White Forest combos. Sylvie, Chainlink 1, Sinful Spoils of the White Forest, Chainlink 2 to set itself and block. And Sylvie is going to grab us, depending on how greedy you want to be, can either grab us our LZ to get us more names, grab you your Woes if you want more interaction, or it can grab you your Scourge if you want more interaction, or your Tails if you need something else to pitch. We're gonna actually, for the sake, we're gonna grab this Tails here. So we will make our 6 here. Get the Resilia. Resilia is going to pitch the Tails that we just got. We are just going to grab our Scourge here. Just having another Omni. Tails, or a Stellar Chainlink 1, Tails to block, Chainlink 2. And then we can activate our Tails now. To grab us our last name, we'll grab LZ. Because LZ will grab us our Rusia or our Azamina LZ. We can special LZ here, pitch the Scourge. LZ can grab your Azamina LZ or your Rusia. We will grab Azamina LZ here, just so we can get another search off and and go through more cards, see more cards. And then on a new chain, Scourge is going to reset itself. Then we can special summon our LZ using its effect, and then use that LZ and our Resilia to make our 8. We make our Diabell. Now we can go Chainlink 1, Azamina LZ of the White Forest to search our Sinful Spoils card, and then Chainlink 2 to block it with Diabell to get back a card from our graveyard, get us our Deception right back. If you haven't used your Wanted yet, if you didn't open your Wanted, or didn't have your Diabell star, this is where you would use your LZ to grab your Wanted, because your Diabell star can just set Sinful Spoils Deception or your Sinful Spoils of the White Forest for an extra card. Now we are going to start our links using these two. We go into our Silo Hatch Rabbit. Silo Hatch Rabbit effect is going to grab us our Angel Statue Azure Rune. I'm going to keep that face up just so I see all the interaction. Then we activate the effect of Hallowed Azamina in the grave by shuffling back the Azamina LZ from our graveyard into our deck. Now we can go Deception again, face up, and go Hallowed Azamina. Now with this line, if you are playing the Fusions, or if you are playing the Saints, you can actually pitch both of these to start your Saint Azamina line. But since we're not on the Saints, we're just going to go Deception again and Hallowed Azamina to grab us our Eosivia. And then finally, with our last LZ here, we can just go our Sylvie effect, special itself by shuffling back our Resilia into our extra deck, and then immediately link those two off to make our Masquerena. So now we still have Ash Blossom. We can set our Azamina Aphis here, and then in step Deception is going to set itself. So with this setup, we have 5 back row set, one of which is useless, kind of, since we opened with the Sinful Spoils of White Forest, but you can pitch it with Diabell and reset itself because it has the White Forest effect when we're activating our Diabell effect. But we have the IP Masquerena into SP Little Knight. We have Ilia Sevilla for negate. We have a Scourge of the White Forest for a negate. We have Angel Statue Azurune here for a inherent special summon negate, and Azamina Aphis right here for a bounce 1, 2, 3 potentially. And then of course Diabell to summon out Sylvie to Book of Eclipse if we need to. Or it can be a Zabra Shrimp to Formula Synchron into like a Chaos Angel or something like that to protect your board. Let's do another opening hand. I want to try and get a starter that's not a Stellar, since most of the Stellar combos are pretty much the same. It hasn't really changed too much since the beginning of White Forest. It's still, like I said, the weakest normal summon of the deck. Like, I'd much rather start with a Sylvie and an Azamina Elzette in the opening hand, or any of my special summons. All right, big cut. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I know we opened a Stellar here, but we're gonna pretend that this is we're not gonna use a Stellar. We're actually gonna distribute it off for the Deception. We're gonna use our normal summon on a Sylvie here. So this is still a full combo. Again, we'll go through this as if there is no like hand traps or anything that we have to worry about. So we will just go we'll actually just start with our Deception in case we want to bait, and in case we want to bait an Ash Blossom or anything like that, since we would actually prioritize getting our Sylvie search off first. So we'll go Deception. We're actually going to tribute this a Stellar because it has a graveyard effect to resummon itself. And we are going to get, let's go Hallowed Azamina here. Oh. Again, we will save our normal summon. So we'll go Hallowed Azamina. Now you can send either of these Sinful Spoils, since we don't really need both of them, but we can recycle this Deception easier. So we're going to send the Deception. Summon our Yugioh. Yugioh is going to add our Azamina Elzette of the White Forest. From here, we can special our Azamina Elzette of the White Forest. We can normal summon our Sylvie effect to add. Typically here, I would like to add a form of interaction. We can add our Scourge, we can add our Woes, or even your Azamina Aphis, since it is a White Forest card. Since we have another search available, we're going to actually go our Azamina Aphis here. Then we will synchro these two off into our 6. We will summon our other Resilia. Resilia can pitch any one of our White Forest spells here to reset themselves. I don't know if I'm going to use the Sinful Spoils yet. We'll see. It depends. I like holding on to the Sinful Spoils of the White Forest because it can always be chained to Hallowed Azamina to get a free special summon in case we need to put out a Elzette and Stellar, another Sylvie that we happen to draw, anything like that, any other White Forest name that gets stuck in our hand. So we'll send the Azamina Aphis. We'll go Chainlink 1 as Elzette so we can get our Deception. Chainlink 2 Resilia. Resilia is going to add our Tails here. Elzette is going to add a Sinful Spoils card. We can add our Wanted here, since we haven't gone into our Diabell Star line yet. And then on a new chain, a Stellar is going to trigger since we sent a Speller Trap to activate a monster effect. And Azamina Aphis has the effect to reset itself from the graveyard like a White Forest Speller Trap. So we're going to go Chainlink 1 a Stellar, chain block it with Chainlink 2 Azamina Aphis to set itself. Now, we haven't used the effect of a Stellar yet, so that is a free name that we have access to if we wanted. So let's do a Stellar effect, send the Tails, and let's special out our Rusia here. And then Tails is going to, on a new chain, reset itself. I'll move my hand over here. There we can see. Then we can go Wanted of Seeker of the Sinful Spoils here to add our Dia Bellstar. Now, if you wanted to make a Light and Dark Chaos Angel in your line, if you wanted to protect your board, you could use your Rusia and your Azamina Yugioh for that. Now we can go our Rusia effect for an extra draw. We'll pitch the Sinful Spoils of the White Forest. We now know that we no longer need the extra special summon. And we'll get a free draw here. I'm going to get a little shuffle. Okay, so a free draw. It's another Sylvie. So we'll just keep that upside down in our hand over here, just to represent that it's a free card. It can be any card that we have. Now we will reset the Sinful Spoils. Now we can go into our Dia Bellstar line, where we'll sacrifice the Rusias since we don't need another tuner right now. Dia Bellstar is going to set any one of our Sinful Spoils cards. So now we have a couple of options of what we can do, a couple of lines. If you happen to pitch a spell or trap that you needed back, like say you had to pitch an Imperm to start a combo or something like that, you can get it back now by going into your Dia Bell. Dia Bell effect, so we have nothing else that we really care about getting back. So we can just get back this Tails as extra pitch fodder if we need to next turn. A Hallowed Azamina effect now. Shuffle back the Azamina LZ into our deck to add Hallowed Azamina back to our hands. Again, if you are playing the fusions, if you're playing the Saint Azamina, this is where you would pitch both of them, both your Deception or your Sinful Spoils of the White Forest, but we are not on either of those right now. So we're just going to flip over our Deception, play our Hallowed Azamina, pitch these two, make our Ila Sevilla. We still have LZ in hand that we haven't activated the effect of. We can pitch the Tails for. We'll go Dia Bellstar and Azamina Yugioh here to make our Silo Hatch Rabbit. Silo Hatch Rabbit is going to set the Angel Statue Azarun. Then we'll go LZ, pitch the Tails that we don't need. LZ can grab us a starter for next turn, can grab us another Stellar, can grab us another Sylvie. Any one of our White Forest names here. Let's just grab another Stellar just to thin out our deck even more. And then we can shuffle back our Rusia from our extra deck to summon any one of our level 4s and use those two to link off into, again, our IP Masquerena. So at instep, we'll set our Imperm. At instep, Deception resets itself. So we have, again, 5 back row, Ila Sevilla, Omni Negate, Dia Bell to either summon a Book of Eclipse or to get a Formula Synchron. We have Imperm, Azarun, Silo Hatch Rabbit, and we have 2 Sinful Spoils. If we even want to activate Sinful Spoils of the White Forest to summon our Stellar, or to special summon our Stellar out on their end step, if we so wanted to, we could. I don't really see the point in that. And of course, we have Azamina Afis as well for interaction. I really love this deck a lot. I love the different layers of interaction that you can set up with this deck. Especially with the back row protecting your monster Omni Negates. There are a couple of things I'm going to change, like I said, coming up with this list to test out different ratios of this deck. And again, once I get a hold of Saint Azamina, I'm going to try the fusion line of this deck. But let me know again down in the comments below if there's any questions, anything that I might have missed, or if you enjoyed the video, let me know as well. I'll keep you all updated on the changes and fixes for this deck as we go along and as I improve with this deck. But again, if you like this video, like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff. Thank you, of course, for watching the video, and I hope y'all enjoyed. And as always, good night.